Well, it is 12:01, so I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the overview of Loudoun County Homebuyer programs. My name is Christine Hillock. I'm the Community Development Specialist with the Loudoun County Department of Housing and Community Development. We are excited to offer this as one of 3 workshops to celebrate Home Ownership Month. So we'll also have sessions next Wednesday and the Wednesday after that. If you haven't already checked out the information on those, the registration links are still available at loudoun.gov/housing. So please join us and share that information if you would like. Before we get started, I have just a couple of housekeeping items to let folks know about. I've placed the link in our chat if anyone would like to access closed captioning for this session. We have a captioner with us. Rhonda is our captioner. And if you do want to access the closed captioning, just click on that link and it'll open in a separate browser and you can see the captioning. Video and audio for our participants today has been turned off. We do have a large audience. We're really glad. We already have over close to 30 people logged in with us today. So glad so many people have been able to join us. But videos and audio for participants will stay muted. We will be taking questions in the chat. So if you see where I've placed the closed captioning link, that would be the same place where you can type a question. And we will be holding questions until after, basically we'll have 2 presentations, one on the county programs and then one on Habitat's program. And so we'll take questions at the end of each of those sessions. I have a feeling we may not get to all of the questions today, so I will be picking some that I think are most relevant to the whole group. If you have follow-up questions after today, we will have contact information at the end of the slides. I'll also email that out to everyone. And if you ever have any questions, the easiest email address to remember is housing@loudoun.gov. That's our general email box for the Department of Housing and Community Development. And I know how to get quick access to Edwina, our partner at Habitat, so I can always get your question to the right person. Our session is being recorded today, and we do plan to post it online after the session is over. So just wanted everyone to be aware of that. The recording has started. And also just wanted to note that this session is for informational purposes only. It's not required as part of the application process for any of the programs that we're going to be talking about today. So with that, I would like to just do some quick introductions for our panel this afternoon. We have 3 panelists with us today, and you can just wave maybe when I am talking about you. That would be great. We first have Brian Regan. Brian has been with Loudoun County for almost 10 years and serves as the Housing Programs Manager with the Loudoun County Department of Housing and Community Development. In this capacity, Brian supervises the Rental and Home Ownership Programs Unit, which offers opportunities to households in search of affordable rental and purchase options. Prior to working for Loudoun County, Brian was a Housing and Community Development Consultant in Richmond for 7 years, with a focus on housing projects throughout South Side and Southwest Virginia. Brian has a master's in urban planning and policy development, as well as a graduate certificate in public administration. So welcome, Brian. Also presenting on the county programs today is Hannah Choi. Hannah is the Housing Finance Specialist at Loudoun County Department of Housing and Community Development. Hannah began her career in the mortgage finance field 16 years ago and has worked in all facets of mortgage, including processing, underwriting, closing, and funding. She enjoys using her background and experience to help people make their dreams of homeownership come true. And she indeed enjoys her job. She definitely does. And then last but not least, we have Edwina Jackson. Edwina is the Homeowner Services Manager with Loudoun Habitat for Humanity, overseeing and managing the homeownership program from recruitment to closing. She brings over 20 years of nonprofit experience across a broad range of community and national human service organizations. Prior to her employment with Loudoun Habitat, she worked as the Director of Supportive Housing and Homeless Services in Fairfax County. Edwina is a native of Falls Church and holds a master's in counseling psychology from Argosy University, a bachelor's in psychology from George Mason, and an associate's in paralegal studies from Nova. So welcome, everyone. And with that, we already have the beginning of Brian's presentation up, and you can go ahead and get started whenever you're ready, Brian.
Well, thank you, Ms. Hillock, for coordinating this event, and I look forward to working with our partners, Ms. Choi, Ms. Jackson. Look forward to what you have to say and providing this information to the public. Homeownership Month is for the month of June, and we couldn't be more excited about that in providing opportunities for citizens throughout Loudoun County, even outside of Loudoun County, the opportunity to purchase a home or have access to a home in Loudoun County. Mostly homeownership is a way of growing generational wealth and creating opportunities not only for the homeowner themselves, but their children, their families. So from the county side, we are super excited that June is Homeownership Month. It's a great way for us to promote the programs that we offer and also to highlight some of our community partners like Ms. Jackson. So really looking forward to this afternoon session. Any questions that you have, please feel free. This is your opportunity. And we'll get going. So again, as Ms. Hillock stated, what I plan on doing is highlighting some of the high points about the Department of Housing and Community Development and the programs that we offer. Now, I do realize that this is Homeownership Month, but the Department of Housing and Community Development does provide a slew of programs and opportunities aside from homeownership. Before I start, I do want to let everybody know that as of March 31st of this year, we are now a department here with housing. So we are officially the Loudoun County Department of Housing and Community Development. For those that have been around for the last year or two, maybe, you may remember that we were once part of the Department of Family Services. We were embedded in that agency as the Housing and Community Development Division. We then transferred over to the County Administrator's Office, in which we were the Office of Housing for about a year and a half. And now we are the department. We're the Department of Housing and Community Development, or DHCD. Very, very happy to be a department and look forward to serving you all. So as I said, there are a multitude of housing programs that are available to everybody. I'm going to go into the homeownership side in the next few slides, but please know that we are much more than just homeownership opportunities. While we do have homeownership programs, we also have several rental programs, home improvement programs. If you go to the county's website, loudoun.gov/housing, you'll see that we have several educational webinars that are posted. And then what we do is we also have several funding opportunities for nonprofits and other organizations to apply to, including the Community Development Block Grant Program, or CDBG. We also have loans for developers for affordable rental housing. So we really are a pretty comprehensive agency in terms of what we're able to offer, and we continue to grow and expand. And that includes the adoption by the Board of Supervisors, the Unmet Housing Needs Strategic Plan, which was a plan about 2 years in the making. It was adopted by the board in September 2021 and really outlines a pretty aggressive approach to increasing the number of affordable units and also the access to affordability in Loudoun County. So if you are interested, the strategic plan is posted at the website here, loudoun.gov/housing needs. It's actually a pretty phenomenal document. And there are about, Chris, you may have to help me, about 120, 140 action steps that the county is recommended to take over the next several years. So again, there is a big spotlight on housing in Loudoun County, especially now. So we're really going to kind of take this momentum and run with it, and again, really grow and expand our existing programs, which we are very excited about. So the county, we do have several homeownership programs and that are available that folks can apply to right now. We have established homeownership programs to assist low to moderate income first-time homebuyers in their effort to purchase a home. And that goes between actually purchasing the home and also accessing some financial assistance towards purchasing a home. So we do have the Affordable Dwelling Unit Program, probably the best known program in the county. Although we have many, many others. And then we also have the down payment and closing cost assistance programs, which Ms. Choi will go over in just a few slides, and also a fairly new opportunity for residents to participate in a low interest rate mortgage program, which again, Ms. Choi will go over in a few slides. By first-time homebuyer, the county defines that as no ownership interest in real property, either in the United States or abroad within the last 3 years. So some of our housing programs, in which we will go in a little bit more detail over the next few slides, but like I said, the Affordable Dwelling Unit Purchase Program. This is where citizens have an opportunity to purchase a home directly from the builder in new communities throughout Loudoun County at a sales price much below what you are able to find at market. And this program caters to households that earn between 30 and 70% of the area median income. And I will go over that in another slide. So just hold on to that for now. But it is a income restricted program. And then also what Ms. Choi will review over the next few slides. The county offers the Down Payment and Closing Cost Assistance Program, or DPCC. You'll see a lot of acronyms. I will try to not use them as freely as I do at work. I realize not everyone speaks the acronym language that we do. We also have the Public Employee Grants Homeownership Program, or PEG program. And this is down payment assistance specifically for employees of Loudoun County Schools, Loudoun County Government, and the Loudoun County Courts and Constitutional Offices. Again, household income must be between that 30 to 70% of the area median income range. And then also the SPARK program, or the Sponsoring Partnerships and Revitalizing Communities, another program that Hannah administers. And this provides a reduction in the interest rate of 1% through Virginia Housing, one of our nonprofit partners here in the state of Virginia. So this program could lead to the reduction of your monthly payment and saving thousands upon tens of thousands of dollars over the life of loans. So another exciting program. To get more details about the ADU purchase program, this assists first-time homebuyers at a price, like I said, significantly less. All of the information, all the eligibility criteria that you need is on the Department of Housing and Community Development's website. So if you have any specific questions about the program, feel free to monitor the website. My program will be on here, the ADU program. All of the down payment programs are on that website, so that's a really terrific resource for you. I think it goes without saying that it is extremely expensive to live in Loudoun County. I think everyone knows that. So in April of 2022, the median price of homes sold in Loudoun County, believe it or not, was $720,000, which is a significant amount. To give you an idea of the advantages or the benefits of participating in the ADU purchase program, typical sales prices will fall anywhere between $150,000 to $200,000. Now, there could be homes that are less than that. There certainly could be homes that are greater than that, but that seems to be a majority of the sales prices are between about $150,000 to $200,000. So again, if you are eligible to participate in the program, if you meet the eligibility criteria, feel free to apply. It's an open application process. And as a result, you're able to save almost $500,000 in terms of purchasing your home for that instead of at market. Homes are purchased directly from the builder in new construction communities throughout Loudoun County. So really anywhere, for the most part, that you're seeing building east of Route 15 in Loudoun County should have ADUs. Also, there is a program where within the ADU program where existing homes can be purchased from current ADU homeowners. And we call this resales. So if you purchase a home, an ADU, and you decide to sell it within the first 15 years, you would have to sell it back to a certificate holder. So there is the opportunity for not just new, but also a resale as part of that process. The ADU ordinance was adopted in 1993. Since that time, almost 3,000 ADUs have been provided in Loudoun County. So a pretty significant number in terms of households that have been assisted through this program, which we are extremely proud of. And I will hand the presentation over to Ms. Choi for a little bit more information about our down payment programs.
Thank you, Brian. Brian did go over briefly both of programs that we are offering right now for the down payment and closing cost assistance program. I will go over DPCC, down payment closing cost assistance program first. It is a second mortgage to your property that you're going to purchase. Anybody who's purchasing home in the Loudoun County, ADU purchaser or market sale price home purchaser, can apply to this program as long as they meet the qualification. Qualification is you have to fall in within 30% to 70% area median income, which a beautiful chart will show up on the next couple slides. I will tell you which is the income limit. Currently, we can loan up to 10% of the sales price or up to $25,000, whichever is lesser, for 30 years, 5% fixed interest rate, a low monthly payment. So you'll be paying back to the county just like you'll be paying the mortgage payment. There's a no prepayment penalty. You can pay early and pay it off. And this funds is provided at the closing table. So it's not something you purchase first and then request for the fund. This process will start at the same time when you go under contract to purchase a house. And I will be working directly with your lenders or lender and the title company, and that's pretty much it. Same thing for the public employee homeownership grant program. The only difference is who can apply for this program. Brian mentioned it earlier that Loudoun County employees or Loudoun County Public School course and constitutional officers can apply for this program. It is a forgivable loan that is $10,000 flat. There's no less, no more. It's exactly $10,000 given at the closing table. And it's forgiven over a course of 5 years at 0% interest rate and 0% monthly payment as long as you are still employed with the county and living in the property as a primary resident. Meanwhile, within that 5 years, we will still secure this rent as a second mortgage form in your property, so you will be seeing that in your deed. However, after 5 years, it's all forgiven and they'll be taken off from the property. Same thing. Okay, go ahead.
So with the ADU program, it's an open application process. You can certainly apply at any time. What we do want to say is that for these two programs, the down payment closing cost assistance program and the public employee homeownership grant program, do not apply now, as you need to be under contract in order to apply for these programs. And correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Joy, but so we have a lot of people that may say, oh, this sounds like a great opportunity, I'll apply now. There's not necessarily anything to apply to since you don't have a contract and Ms. Choi does not have the information about your contract and the property that you're about to purchase in order to process the application. So it's something that you can certainly look into, get all the information that you want, talk to Ms. Choi as much as you want to get further information and clarification, but don't apply for these programs quite yet.
That's correct. The reason behind it is in order for me to be able to calculate the pre-approval, I will need to know what your mortgage payment will be. Because unlike ADU program, I will be looking into all the factors of your income, your debt to income ratios, how much your mortgage payment will be, along with the new down payment closing cost assistance loan amount to make sure that we are not burdening your monthly payment. So unless I know your purchasing price and the mortgage amount, I won't be able to do anything with the application until then. So please remember to apply once you actually start shopping with your realtor and lender and you're pretty close to a purchasing or you just signed a ratified contract. That's when then will be the best time to apply. I think we can go to the next slide. So we are very excited about this low interest rate mortgage program. It's called Sponsoring Partnership and Revitalizing Communities, called SPARK from Virginia Housing. It's been second years with this program and it's been great success to providing relief to homeownership people who's falling in between 70% to 100% area median income that we were previously couldn't provide any programs with. So as Brian mentioned earlier, this program provides 1% rate reduction of life of the loan, which means if you get approved from your lender through a Virginia Housing approved lender using the Virginia Housing approved mortgage program, you will receive 1% on your mortgage for life of the loan as long as you live in the property. I have seen at the lowest interest rate at one point, person's mortgage rate was 2%. Now it's not the case, but back then rate was dropped to 2% and they were saving significant amount monthly payment. This process doesn't, so as an applicant, you will consult with your lender first. You will tell them you're interested in the SPARK program that is provided by Loudoun County, partner with the Virginia Housing. Then your lender will reach out to me and letting me know all the information, and the lender and I will work together. So as long as you know there is such type of program and then you mention it to your lender, your job is done, and then lender and I will work together to make sure you qualify and then you can get funding from the Virginia Housing. There is guidelines from the Virginia Housing, which the lender will be able to provide it to you depends on your case and scenario by scenario, but we do have requirement of currently you have to live and or work in Loudoun County for minimum 6 months, and purchasing new or existing home for $150,000 or less that located in the Loudoun County. That's the only qualification we have at the moment. And if you have any question, you can definitely give me a call, or you can talk to any lender, mortgage lender you're working with to see if they are familiar with it. And if they're not, you can have them call me as well, and then I can walk them through.
Great. Thank you, Hannah. Well, like I said, getting back to the AMI question, or the area median income question. So on the left-hand side of the chart here, in yellow, you can see what the criteria are. So for the affordable dwelling unit program, households must earn between 30 and 70% of the area median income, and that's based on household size. So as an example, going over to the chart here on the right-hand side, if I'm just a single individual and I want to apply, I would have to earn between 30 and 70%. So at a minimum, I would have to earn at least $29,900, and at most $69,800. Let's say I'm married with 3 children in a household of 5. I would have to earn as a household, including all sources of income, $46,150 and no more than $107,650. Again, that is the minimum and maximum based on household size. The 2 down payment programs that Hannah just mentioned, the DPCC program and the PEG program, are between 30 and 70%, but they use the household of 4 metric regardless of your household size. So whether you are a household of 1 or a household of 8, you would have to qualify using the 4-person household metric. So for both of those down payment programs, a household would have to earn at least $42,700 and no more than $99,650. And then getting to the last program that Hannah just spoke about, which is the Spark program. This is a program that caters to households earning 70 to 100% of the area median income. And again, that is regardless of household size. So whether you're just a single person, if you are married with 6 children as a household of 8, you would have to earn a minimum of $99,650 and a maximum of $142,000. I'm sorry, $142,300 in which to qualify. The area median income for the Washington, D.C. metro area increased as of April 18th, and that went from 129,000 to the number you see here, 142,300. So a pretty significant increase, which caused a slight increase in the minimums and maximums that you see in this chart here before you. Again, all of this information is on the county's website. If you aren't able to write it down, hopefully I've been scribbling it down, but all this information is on the county's website, loudoun.gov/housing. Each of the programs has its own page for further information for you to read about it at your leisure. And I believe that is the last slide. Yes, so here is my phone number and email address, along with Hannah's phone number and email address, and then also, as Ms. Hillock stated at the beginning of the presentation, just in terms of general inquiries, we have housing@loudoun.gov. Please know that staff is here as a resource for you, and we are more than happy to do any sort of information gathering that you all need. That's what we're here for. Ask as many questions as you need. If you're not sure about something, feel free to email, call us. We're always more than happy to chat. So we are a resource here for you at the county, and something we strive towards. So I will leave it at that, and I guess hand it over to Ms. Jackson, of which I'm really excited to hear about Habitat's resources.
So Brian, before we do that, I'm very excited to hear from Edwina as well, Ms. Jackson as well, but I think we will take a couple of questions for the county programs first, and then we will hear about the Habitat program and take a couple of questions on that, if that works. So we already have a few questions in the chat, and these are great questions, so I'm going to just start with the ones that we've already had. I think this one would be for you, Brian. The first question is, what do ADU homes look like, and what neighborhoods are they in?
So, really, what do they look like? They'll look like any other market unit that you see. I mean, there are pretty high standards in terms of what the exterior must look like. so that they match the surrounding properties, and that you're not driving by and you see, oh well, there's an ADU. There are design guidelines that developers must follow to ensure that they mesh with the surrounding community. Now, I will say that the units overall, in terms of square footage, may be a bit smaller. Some are exactly the same size, but in terms of what they look like, you shouldn't be able to differentiate them from any other unit. And in terms of where they are located, there are certain requirements in terms of areas that must provide ADUs. So a lot of those areas are going to be east of Route 15. We don't see many out in western Loudoun County because one of the requirements is it has to have access to public water and sewer, and that's not the case for much of western Loudoun County. So we'll see, anywhere from Ashburn to South Riding to Sterling to Leesburg to Aldi. I mean, there's Chantilly, there are ADUs everywhere. Like I said, almost 3,000 ADUs have been provided thus far through this program. So it's in a lot of the county east of 15.
Great. And then related to that, another question came in. How do I know where new construction might have ADUs, and how do I apply for the new construction?
Yep, that's a great question. So in order to view the properties that are available through the ADU program, you must be on the wait list first. So if you apply to the program, if you're found to be eligible, you're then placed on the wait list, and then those on the wait list have access to a sales website, and that website will list all of the available properties that come on board. So that's going to be your access. Unfortunately, it's not a process to where the general public can see all of the available ADUs. Those on the wait list are the only ones that have access to available ADUs.
Great. Thank you. Now a couple of questions for you, Hannah. I have a couple that have come in about the homeownership loan programs. The first one is, how much funds should I have in order to have a down payment for my house? And related to that, what kind of credit score will I need to have?
Those are great questions. So I will go with the easy one first. The credit scores they require for our program is minimum 620. So mortgage companies usually depends on what type of program you're going along with. So they might be lower, they might be higher requirement than 620, but our programs require minimum of 620. As for how much you should have as a down payment savings, it all depends on your needs. So if you are interested in purchasing bigger home, then you will probably need at least 5 to 10% of down payment that you'll be able to place then. Down payment closing cost assistance program is there to help you to relieve needs of funds that you are a little short of. Is not there for you to be relying on 100% to be able to put it in as a down payment. A mortgage lender or even your seller, or if you're buying new build, will require their different type of requirement as a down payment. So that's something that you have to think about when you're ready to purchase, and have a long discussion with your loan officer that what type of product that you're getting from them and what type of requirement with that loan product that will come with. So there's not certain answer to how much you should be saving for.
Great. And then one more question. What is the estimated turnaround time for someone who applies to the DPCC program?
So given the fact that you have a ratified contract to close, the usual turnaround time is 30 to 45 days. That means from the moment that I received complete application from you and your lender, and to the moment where the check is generated to the closing table, that is 30 to 45 days.
Great, thank you.
And Chris, I'm seeing one more question on Q&A.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, is asking about can they apply for DPCC and PAG at the same time? Fortunately, it's either or. So if you or a person can qualify for both the programs, then you have to pick which will benefit you the most, the 10,000 grant or the DPCC, because DPCC probably will end up giving you more than 10,000, but it is a loan. So I've seen the cases there where teacher will apply DPCC because they needed more help than grant. So it's something that you have to look into which one will benefit you more, but unfortunately you can't apply both of them.
Great, thanks, Hannah. Yeah, you can see how many great questions are coming in through the chat. We are not going to be able to get to them all, unfortunately. So I think I'm going to pause there and turn it over to Edwina Jackson to go through the Habitat program, and then if we have more time at the end of the whole session, we can go back to some of these great questions. And Hannah, feel free to read through those with me and see if there are other good ones that we should address after Edwina is finished. So thank you, Brian and Hannah. And Edwina, I'm going to make you the presenter now. I'm going to hand it over from Brian to you, and you should be able to share your presentation now. Took just a minute, but it says you are now the presenter. Are you seeing that share button?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay, is that better for everybody?
Yep, we can see it full screen. Thanks.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Again, I'm Edwina Jackson. The Homeowner Services Manager here with Loudoun Habitat for Humanity, and thank you so much for the invite. I appreciate it, and I got a lot of good information myself. Just learning about the Loudoun County government's program. So thank you for that. So let me get right into it. I know we are a little pressed for time. So what we will be getting into with Loudoun Habitat for Humanity, I would first talk about the introduction to Habitat for Humanity, the partnership housing program that we are, and how Loudoun Habitat has been able to change the lives of so many folks in Loudoun County. We will talk about the guiding principles for homeownership with us, which will be the need for an affordable mortgage, a need for housing, and a willingness to partner with Loudoun Habitat for Humanity and the ability to pay for an affordable mortgage as well. And then we will talk a little bit about tools you will need to build your homeownership strategy, which would be budgeting and savings, and a little bit about going over your credit report. First, there's a couple of myths that folks kind of come to these classes. They think about with Loudoun Habitat. One of the myths is Habitat gives away homes for free. We do not. I wish we did, but we do not give away homes for free. Instead, the homeowners buy their homes with affordable mortgages, and they work very hard to get those mortgages as well, because there's a long process, which we'll talk about as well, to get from the beginning to the end of homeownership with Loudoun Habitat for Humanity. The second myth would be the home reduces neighborhood property values. And studies have shown that the affordable housing has no adverse effects on community property values whatsoever. In fact, through financial training, we have, once you become a future homeowner, we go through financial training, and we talk about being a good neighbor, how to be a good community member, how to, keep your lawn and maintenance of your home up to par, so that you can maintain good relationships within the community, and that the property values do not reduce. Loudoun Habitat is a partnership housing program. So we just do not do a mortgage transaction. You are actually get into a relationship with us. You will be working with me if you apply, and we have an open application cycle coming in October, which I'll get a little bit more into that in future slides. But as an applicant, you'll be working with me from the beginning to the end. The application process takes a little while. There's a lot of documents you would need to submit with that process. Once you have been approved to get into the Loudoun Habitat program, then you become a future homeowner at that point. And then the classes begin, then there's sweat equity up until the point of when we actually settle on your home. We choose a home and purchase a home and settle on the home, and you become a homeowner. Loudoun Habitat, the local impact in Loudoun County. We do serve Loudoun County since 1993. The homeownership program, we have several programs. One is just the homeownership program, which is the program that I manage. Thus far, we've had 64 homes and 243 individuals have been served. We also have the home repair program, which so far there's been 27 homes repaired and 60 individuals served. The home repair program Is more so with folks who are not able to afford major repairs on their home. It could be a roof that needs to be replaced. It could be putting in a wheelchair ramp. So most of the folks that apply to this program are seniors or folks who are have medical needs that aren't able to afford to put these repairs into their home. So they apply to this program and get the assistance if they were approved. Then there's also the Tools for Life Learning Center, which is open to the public and it's free, and it's on our website where you can go and just review webinars and workshops to learn more about home ownership. You can learn more about budgeting and credit and how to maintain your home and all that good stuff. So there's those three major programs that we have here at Loudoun Habitat. So Loudoun Habitat builds and we rehab homes. We haven't built a home actually since 2018 because the land prices and home prices have just been super high. It's been astronomical. And I'm from Fairfax County, so it's just as high there too. So it's just like, where do you go? But so we've more than the most recent since I've been here in November, this most of the homes we've been rehabbing. So we'll get a home that's probably in really bad shape and we will fix it up to make it look like new. We have a great construction team that does pretty good work with just working with whomever is going to end up in this home. We want to make sure that we meet the needs of that family. So if we're buying a house and with a family in mind, we want to make sure that we know their medical needs if there are any, and just kind of how many kids they have. I want to make sure everybody has their own room. So we work really closely with the families, and that's why I said earlier that the relationship building is very important with us. The homes we build are safe, functional, and affordable. They're modest homes with basic systems, reasonably sized homes without customization. So it's not like you can come in and say, hey, I would like a granite countertop and cherry wood cabinets. We're just going to give the function, as long as it works, as long as it's in good working condition, and as long as it's functional. That's what we're going to put in. We try to go the least expensive route that we can. And we do use a lot of volunteer labor, and we do accept a lot of donations. And we do have the Restore, Habitat Restore, which is adjacent to our building here. And we do get a lot of our supplies from there too, if we can. So next we're going to see a little bit of before and after of some homes that we have rehabilitated. So here's a townhome in Sterling. Before, you'll see that the floors are horrible. They actually had carpet in this floor, and the carpet was in horrible condition that it even damaged the floors, so that the floors needed to be replaced, and then new paint added to that unit. Here's just the bathroom, updated that bathroom as well. Here in this kitchen, everything in this kitchen was functional. On the left side is the old before picture. It was functional, but it was just outdated. So we just, on the picture on the right, you'll see that we updated it and just made it look like something somebody would really want to live in. A lot of these houses that I go to look at, I'm like, I would live there. So those are, it's great. Some of the criteria for becoming a Habitat homeowner, and we will go through these in the future slides, but there is a residency requirement. There's a need, we say need, willingness to partner, and ability to pay. So the need for a decent, affordable home. So with Habitat, it's not just if you want a home, you can, you're able to get a home. You really do have to have a need. We're trying to capture a demographic that folks work hard and they're trying their best to obtain a home, but they really just cannot. And there's other obstacles that are hindering this family's growth. It could be, and let me get into that when I get to these next slides, but the willingness to partner is part of the sweat equity. You'll learn about that as well. And then the ability to pay. So Habitat homeownership, the criteria for residency, there are two types of residency. You have to first be a Loudoun County resident at least 12 months. You have to be here at least a year. And you have to plan to stay in Loudoun County as well, because that's where the homes we're purchasing are going to be located. We don't go outside the county. You also have to be a U.S. resident or a permanent U.S. resident. And we do ask for proof of these documents when you apply. It's part of your application process. The need. So here's the 3 criteria to meeting the need criteria. High rent. You're living paycheck to paycheck, so to speak, because the rent is astronomical. And what we try to do is get it to a point where your mortgage is going to be less than what your rent is paying. You're paying for rent. For example, we've had a family not too long ago who just got into his home. He was paying $1,400 a month in rent. Now he goes to settlement next week, but his mortgage will be $1,000. So he's saving that $400 from rent to home ownership. So that's great for him. He's really excited about that. The other part of need is unsafe conditions. Some people have a lot of mold and mildew in their units, or the maintenance folks aren't coming to do what they're supposed to do. So that's also qualifies as a need. And then overcrowding. Say you have 4 kids, 2 boys and 2 girls, but you only have 2 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms. So everybody should have their own room. If they're younger children and they're same sex, same gender, then they can stay in the same room. But typically we have to follow those guidelines as well as to how old your children are, and opposed at how old your children are and if they can have a room or share a room. So, and sometimes you have a young child may be sleeping in a room with a parent, and so we would like to have that child to have their own room. And so the willingness to pay, the willingness to partner, which comes to be sweat equity. That's what we call it. It's volunteer labor, so we don't ask for a lot of money we don't ask for any money from you, but we do ask for your time. And that would include 200 hours of sweat equity if you're an individual applying for homeownership, or 300 hours if you are a couple. And a couple could be husband and wife, it could be sisters, it could be mother and son, mother and daughter, however it works. There's 2 people that are willing to go on that mortgage. Then there's 300 hours that are required. And this has to be completed before we put you in a home. That's just one of the criteria that we're asking, is that you do some sweat equity. And you do earn sweat equity by your home buyer's education, which you will participate in once you become a future homeowner. So when you become a future homeowner, there's classes that you will be required to take as part of partnering with us. And those classes are financial classes that help prepare you for homeownership, savings and budgeting and credit and improving your credit. So we give you time. If we give you time to kind of, if you don't come in with the best of credit, you don't come in with, we just ask that you have time. You don't come in with much of anything, then we try to help you along the way with between 12 and 24 months, because that's how long it's going to take to get a home through us. There's also sweat equity with construction. We might have an active construction site or repairing, and if you're able to do it, then that's another way you can earn your sweat equity. And then most folks actually do their sweat equity through the Restore, which is adjacent to us, like I mentioned. You can just be, stocking things in the Restore, helping out with donations that come in the Restore, or cash register, whatever it is that they have the need for. That's where most people get their hours. The ability, how we determine the ability to pay an affordable mortgage. You have to meet the income requirements, which you will see in a future slide, meet the debt to income criteria, and pay an affordable mortgage and apply for multiple financing solutions. We don't just use one financing solutions to help folks. So if the house is $400,000, for example, but what your income dictates is you could probably afford $200,000 worth of a house, right? So there's 200,000 that's left. So that's when Habitat will go and try to get grants or subsidies to fill that gap. So as long as you stay in the house for over 15 years, depending on what that subsidy, if that subsidy allows that, you won't have to pay that back. But if you sell it before then you sell it at market rate value, just like you would any other house. But we do ask for that subsidy back because you're getting money out of the house. And you should have money for yourself, and then you're paying that money back because you didn't stay in that house for the 15 years or whatever the subsidy requires. It could say 30 years, whatever the limitations on that is. So then part of how we determine the ability to pay too is just we're looking at your all of your housing needs. Your whole housing costs will be your mortgage payments, your taxes, your homeowner's insurance, and your HOA. So you would be paying 30% of your income would go towards those housing costs. Here is the income limits as of April 2022. They have increased through HUD. We use the guidelines that HUD have set. I think that the county does too. And so, for example, if you are a family of 4, the minimum income your family should be making is $42,700. The maximum will be $85,380. And that's also on our website. Let me go back to this slide. This is also listed on our website as well, and you'll get that at the end. But feel free to go onto our website for more information to double check these income limits, and then you can actually register to receive more information when classes become available. Again, we look at your ability to pay, we look at your income. This is all going to be part of your application process. All income sources, your work income, your employment history, we look at tax returns, child support if you're getting it, Social Security benefits if you're getting it, and any other income. I've been getting lately the last application session. We have a lot of folks who are doing part-time jobs like Uber Eats and Lyft. So all of that is considered income, and we take all that into consideration. Just as well as your income, we look at your debt as far as how you can pay. We're looking at your credit history, your credit card usage, and your payments, your rental expenses, and all of the payments, the debts that you have will be considered. The home ownership program, as I mentioned, is an average of 12 to 24 months, which is 1 to 2 years. The beginning of the process, which is numbers 1 through 2, you will see that the home ownership session and the home ownership information session, that is where we go a little bit more in depth into the intricacies of how to own a home through Habitat. And those sessions are required in part of the application process. We don't want you just turning an application without knowing the beginning and end of what's going to happen and what to expect when you're in this program, because we're just not like a lot of other programs. So we want to be sure everybody is aware of what they're getting into. So then you have the application, and the next application cycle will be available from October 3rd to October 31st of this year. We just had one in January. It's normally April and October, but because of COVID, things got pushed around a little bit last year. So we didn't have an application session last year. So January of this year, we picked it back up, and then we'll do another one again in October. If during your application, if your financial situation looks good, then we do a home visit, and the home visit is where we check the need. If there's overcrowding, if you're paying too much in your rent, if there's any kind of issues with health, or mold, mildew, or if the maintenance folks aren't coming to do their part, and you're kind of living in a place that's not, you shouldn't be living in comfortably. It's not comfortable living environment. So once we do the home visit, and if you're approved and all of that, we kind of go through to see if you're approved or not. And if you are, then we present to our board of directors, and then your partnership begins with us. You sign your agreement with us. And it's not an agreement that you're absolutely going to get a house. It's not a mortgage settlement form, anything like that. It's just that you're partnering with us. And so your classes will begin. You'll begin the Home Buyers Club classes. And then your sweat equity begins after you're done with the classes. And then we search for a home and select a home for you. And then we have a home dedication, which is a real big deal for us. It's like a graduation ceremony of sorts. But a lot of folks come, even some of the politicians may come if we're close enough in their time allows. And you're able to invite friends and family of your own. And this is where everybody comes to kind of take a walkthrough of your house. And then shortly after that, you'll get the key. You'll get the keys of the dedication, but you may not be able to move in then, but you will be able to move in shortly. So the tools you'll need to build home ownership: evaluate your budget. And these are just some tools we want to try to help you with while we have this opportunity to talk through this platform. Commit to tracking every penny that you spend for 30 days. That will help you to know exactly where your money is. I've done this myself. I didn't do it before, but I've done it myself, and I do it every so often now in the last 4 or 5 years. And do the math. Add your income up, subtract your expenses, calculate the results. Are you in the red or are you in the black? Are you in a surplus or are you in a deficit? So if you're realizing that you're like working from paycheck to paycheck, or you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and you really don't have enough money to carry you from week to week, then look at what you can do to cut back. I mean, maybe you're getting coffee every morning at Starbucks, and you can cut that back and, drink coffee from home. Or maybe, you're shopping a little bit too much, you can cut that back. Or maybe you're going to Wegmans when you should be going to Aldi's. I don't know. Kind of figure out where you need to cut back on your expenses, and try to put as much money as you can in savings. Pay yourself first. Try to put much money as you can in your savings account, and so you can start seeing that grow. How do you make it a habit to save? Well, pay yourself first, as I just said. Save for known expenses, but also save for unknown expenses. And the general rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months of household expenses you should be paying for. Household expenses is not just your mortgage, it's your electric, it's your gas, it's your taxes, but all of that what comes up, whatever you're spending in a month in your household expenses, you should have 3 to 6 months of that saved up for an emergency, just in case. You set up a separate savings account and add to it, and use automatic deposits from your payroll. I think everybody's kind of have that as a requirement now, but if you don't, you might want to consider that. Know your credit report. That's the major thing, and a lot of folks don't. And we do go through this in depth when you do become a future homeowner with us. Even if you're go through the information session at the beginning when you're doing the application. We do have mortgage lenders and those who are working in the financial industry that will mentor you. I can pull your credit for free at that point if you don't already have your credit. If you do have your credit report, because it is a hard hit if I pull it. So if you already have a recent copy of your credit report, feel free to bring it and talk to us about it. And then we'll set up a meeting where you can meet with these financial mentors to kind of go over your credit. And just looking at this chart really quickly, you'll notice that your score is more than just, your credit is more than just a score. They're looking at several things in your credit, and you want to plan to reduce your debt, and you want to pay everything on time. But what you'll see here in the blue is the major part of, let me try to move this out of the way. Paying your payments on time is a major factor in what your credit is going to look like. And then the capacity is the other thing. If your credit limit is $1,000, you want to keep it at half or less. You don't want to spend no more than $500 on that $1,000. Once you start getting up higher, it's going to ding on your credit. It's going to cost you your credit score to drop. So you want to show that you can use it responsibly and not max your credit cards out, not even get them close to max. You want to do half or less. Also looking at past credit applications, so trying to apply for things back to back, and then types of credit used. Opposed, for example, if you're installments using revolving credit for credit cards, if you got a bunch of credit cards, or you use it to get a car or student loans, things like that. So those make a difference on your credit report as well. I would like to invite you all to a financial preparation class that we have. We call it Pathways to Housing. We just had one a couple of weeks ago. We're having another one Saturday, August 13th, so there's plenty of time. I can put the link in when I'm done to where you can register. And my email is here too, so you can always email me and I can register you as well. But it's a 4-hour long class. It's in person only. As long as COVID rates don't go back up too high. But right now it's in person only. Space is limited to about 15 people just to keep, good social distancing still. And you do have to register to attend. But some of the questions get answers as far as how do I create a budget? How do I improve my credit score? How do I manage my debt? And how much house can I afford? Those things you will leave knowing, roughly knowing when you finish with this class. And being that we have the open cycle in October, if you can attend this class in August, that kind of helps prepare you for what's going to come if you decide to apply in October. So the summary, and in short, Habitat is a partnership housing program. We are happy to help change lives with Loudoun County residents since 1993. And Our homes are affordable and are, again, located in Loudoun County, and we try to make sure that everyone has what they need going into those homes. So I do ask questions such as, are there any medical things? And not because I want to be into your business, but because I want to know if there's something that we need to do to accommodate you in the home, we can do that. The Habitat housing program, there's a residency requirement. You have to have the need as well and willing to partner and the ability to pay. And tools for home ownership would be your budget and savings and credit. And again, signing up for Loudoun Habitat Program alerts. If you can go to our website, you will be alerted when the application won't be put online until probably like a couple of days before October. So you won't be able to access the application until, but you will be able to get an alert when the application is online if you sign up for our alerts. And then you can review all of the information. Our website is pretty comprehensive, so you can review all the information from our repair program, from the homeownership program, and from tools for life. All of that will be on our website as well. And thank you. I appreciate it, and that's the end of my presentation.
Thanks so much, Edwina. You covered a lot in probably we didn't give you enough time, so
That's
sorry
okay.
if I had to speed through a little bit there, but this was a great presentation, a great introduction to the wonderful work that Habitat does in our community. And I hope all of the presenters have gotten across that really the next step, if anybody has questions, is please feel free to reach out to any of us to talk through specific situations or questions. We are all here in the community with you and are here to make sure that you have access to the information and resources that are here. We just have a couple of minutes, so I think I'm going to throw one question to you, Edwina, if that's okay.
Okay.
And that is, how many families is Habitat able to partner with each year?
Each year it varies. It just depends. But right now we have 5 families that we've taken from the last. We had 27 applications, but 5 families that we've actually taken on that are actually going through the training right now. Their home buyers club courses and about to start their home equity. And then there were 3 already in the pipeline. So roughly it's 9 to 10 we're able to accommodate each year.
Great. Well, great. We have just a minute or two left. If Hannah or Brian, did you have any final comments, or Edwina, did you have any final comments before we close this afternoon?
No, I appreciate you having me. I thank you for the invite. And I'm glad to whoever made it. And if they, oh, let me put in the chat too, where they can.
Yeah, feel free to put any details in the chat, Edwina, and then if there's anything that you'd like me to get out to the participants, I can send a follow-up email. I have everyone's email addresses who registered for this session. So
Thank you.
happy to
I just
forward
put the
that.
link in. Thank you. I just put the link in where they can register for the August financial class.
Excellent. And just a reminder to everyone, please continue to spread the word. We have 2 more events this month. Next Wednesday, we'll have a session with HUD certified housing counselors on foreclosure prevention and financial literacy for homeowners. And then the following Wednesday on the 29th, our partners at the Dulles Area Association of Realtors will be providing an overview and an update on the Loudoun housing market, which we know has changed dramatically this year. So please join us for that session if you're interested. And with that, we are finishing 1 minute early. And thank you all, and everyone have a great afternoon. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Chris, for being a wonderful host as always.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.